Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome to today's LinkedIn session. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are super excited to have you all with us. I'm your host, Hasti, and as a part of our Build Your Career in Build Your Career in Salesforce series today, we have an exceptional guest who is going to be talking about navigating Salesforce Trailhead. Before we get started, I will share a few quick tips for the smooth functioning of the session. This session is going to be recorded, so you can revisit our YouTube channel. If you're facing any issues like difficulty loading the session, click on the event link and refresh the page. If you're unable to view the live broadcast on LinkedIn, in that case, we recommend visiting our YouTube channel or Twitter handle, as it is being broadcasted on these two social media platforms alongside LinkedIn. So today's agenda is going to be a brief about Trailhead, getting started with Trailhead, tips and tricks about getting the best out of Trailhead, lesson on features about Trailhead, and presentation deck by Daniel Preece, who is our guest speaker. So I'll introduce Daniel to you. He is a platform success guide at Salesforce, 10x certified Salesforce expert, A plus, Network plus, Security plus, MCP, and Cisco certified professional. Without any further ado, let's welcome our guest, Daniel Preece. Hi, Daniel. Thank you for joining us.
Hey
And
everyone.
welcome to our LinkedIn Live. How are you doing?
Not too bad. This is the first ever LinkedIn Live event I've ever done. So nervous
Wow.
and excited, but doing well. I'm in the middle of a house move as well. So all hands to the pump. But no, excited to speak to you all today.
Yes, so are we. We are super thrilled to have you, and let's get started. So, first of all, Daniel, congratulations on getting a sharing and visibility architect certification. I recently noticed on your LinkedIn, and it's amazing. So, big congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And please tell us something about yourself, your journey so far.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I used to be in the UK border agency, Border Patrol. So I used to catch like cigarette smugglers, drug smugglers, and my wife's American, and we decided to move to the USA in 2014. So I did a complete career change. I've always had an interest in IT. Started off in a support role. Got introduced basically to Salesforce by accident. The company I was with just had Salesforce recently and asked for help from the IT support team just to set up users and just give them some basic permissions really to use the system. And that's how I kind of fell into Salesforce. And I kind of on my lunch breaks, I was quite a little bit geeky back then. I basically do all my training and for my certificates in my lunch break. I'd just go to a local coffee shop, grab a coffee, sit down for half an hour and just look at things I was interested in. And that's where I kind of stumbled across Trailhead and love the badges and that kind of stuff. And it all took off from there. So the beauty of like Salesforce and Trailhead is anyone can do it. Doesn't matter what background you're from, your age, it doesn't really matter. It's just there and it's free and it's just something you can always access. So I did a complete career change, different country as well. So I'm thankful that I kind of like with hindsight, looking back, I'm grateful to the learning resources I was able to use, and it's got me where I am today. So, it's just anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, having a career shift and moving countries is a very brave move, and to succeed at it like you have done, it's amazing. So that's quite a journey, Daniel, and kudos to you. Before we move forward, please give Daniel a huge shout out and let us know where you are joining us from. And if you have any questions for Daniel regarding the trailhead and how to navigate yourselves through it, please put them in the comment section and we will take them at the end of the live. So Daniel, since we have gathered here to talk about navigating everything regarding Salesforce Trailhead, we have had many guest speakers before this, and at the end we ask them at least one question about, okay, so what are your tips and tricks to get started with admin certification, or to get started with Salesforce Cloud, Sales Cloud, or Marketing Cloud, or Service Cloud. And the one question and the one answer that has remained constant throughout was, just hop on Trailhead or get started with Trailhead. Trailhead is the first step that you take. And we decided, okay, why not just do an entire session on Salesforce Trailhead itself? And you were the perfect guest for that. So please take us through what Trailhead is, and what was the idea behind a Trailhead, and how did it all start?
So from what I understood, Trailhead was launched in 2014, and Salesforce essentially were just trying to equal the learning kind of level playing field for learning. So instead of offering programs where you might have to pay for a course, where there's a lot of those out there right now, signing up, and actually time constraints are a big problem as well for people. What they wanted to do is just make it available to everybody, make it equal, accessible, just to get into the Salesforce ecosystem. So essentially all you need is an internet connection, and you can do it on your phone. So Salesforce, basically, they've got the different career paths within Salesforce, so they have those different learning paths set up, but they're just trying to make it, from what I understand, using my experience, just make it accessible to anyone. And I know there's programs out there called Pathfinder as well, and Explorer programs, maybe for more like the college graduates, but it's just essentially making it accessible and with no time constraints and with no financial cost. So that's how I think Salesforce have really pushed it, and why Trailhead has been so successful and with such a high adoption rate as well.
Yeah, so I guess the idea must have started from building a community where everybody from across the globe can join in, and from the idea that knowledge should be accessible to everybody at no cost, and that everybody has a right to quality education, no matter what, and no matter the age, the gender, the background. So I think that's a wonderful, wonderful idea, and the initiative that's been taken by Salesforce back then, and it's so successful right now. So many people have literally built their careers out of just starting from Trailhead. So I think that's quite an amazing move. So now that we know a little bit about Trailhead, can you please kind of guide us as to how can one get started if somebody is so new to Salesforce and Trailhead? Um,
Yeah.
how can we get started?
So first step's to go to trailhead.salesforce.com and you sign up for an account, and it's completely and utterly free. So I remember doing that. When I first kind of got into Trailhead, I wasn't sure where I'd go next. So what I tend to recommend to people who are starting out new is there are things called badges or modules. So one of the best ones to do once you've signed up is to do what I call the Trailhead Basics module. And then what you'll learn there is how to create what we call a Trailhead Playground, which is your hands-on kind of practice environment, where if you break anything, doesn't matter. It also tells you within that module how to navigate the trails, other badges and units to earn your points and your extra badges, which we'll go into in the deck, and also how to troubleshoot, and find any answers to any common questions. So if you've got any queries, it just tells you where to go. Another good module is the Trailhead Playground Management module. And what that does is, I know I mentioned the playgrounds before, but it helps you kind of understand how to create the playground, get the playground username and password so you can log in, and then install any apps and packages you need within any of the modules. So that's kind of the main kind of 2 or 3 modules I would start with. And Salesforce does have trails as well. So you want the Trailhead Basics and the Trailhead Playground Management. And that kind of gives you more of an idea of kind of like what to expect. Once you've completed those, you can then branch off into some of the beginner level badges if you wish. So you can kind of look at the different learning paths. Hey, I want to be an admin. There's beginner level learning badges for that. I don't want to be an admin. I want to be a developer. There's again, they're categorized by level, and you can go down those developer badges. So that's kind of the first steps that I would recommend for people to get the best use out of Trailhead initially.
Okay, wonderful. That's pretty straightforward and very easy. You can sign in and you can finish off the beginner level, the initial stages of the trailhead. And then the best thing that I like about it is, it kind of gives you, it motivates you that, okay, you have scored these many badges and super badges and there are these levels. That keeps you going, keeps you motivated, so that really excites me.
Mm-hmm.
So how can somebody um, make the best out of a trailhead? So let's say I'm someone who has just started my Salesforce administration preparation, and I finished the beginner level, the intermediate level, the advanced level.
Mm-hmm.
Now what do I do? Are there anything else, like, to kind of brush up my knowledge, to to get ahead of the competition? What is it that what is it that trailhead offers that I should be really doing?
So the good thing about Trailhead is once you've completed all of those levels you just suggested, there is a prepare for your admin little badge or module. And it does have some kind of like little exercises in there that you can do. I believe there's also a prep exam that you do have to pay for that one, unfortunately. I think it's around about $20, $20, but US dollars. But it does take you to the links within there. And the one thing I would say that Trailhead gives you is that hands-on practice. So if you go in and do the trail and you just do it once, and then you take the exam and you fail, don't be disheartened. What we kind of recommend is try and get as much hands-on practice as you can. So you don't have to just do the trail once. You can do it as many times as you want. I mean, some people can be fantastic. They do the trail, they learn everything, it sinks in, and you do the exam and you pass. Great. Other people, they might want to go over it again and again and again, which is absolutely fine. There's no right or kind of wrong way. It's up to your learning style.
Okay. That's actually wonderful, because it's like giving mock tests before preparing or before appearing for the actual or the real exam. And the benefit I feel about when I was preparing for my certifications, uh, the advantage that I can tell you here is I was not nervous before my exam, because I already practiced it so much that by the time I was appearing for my exam, it was just like, okay, everything is going to be fine. I've given so many mock tests, so that's the thing. I mean, you can practice the trails as many times as you want to, and there's also a community. I'm sure we'll get to that later, how you can be a part of this amazing trailblazer community and leverage that to your advantage. I also want to know, like, so many individuals use trailhead to familiarize themselves with the subject and to get through the certification exam. um, what is something, like, what are the lesser known facts or the features about trailhead that could benefit all of us?
Last year, I actually used the mobile app. Not many people know about it, and you can only do the Trailhead modules that are where you can read them. You can't actually do any hands-on stuff on it, but it's great. Again, if you're on the go, you're traveling, as long as you've got your cellular network. Again, you can do the modules and badges in there, and again, you can choose how many times you want to do them. We also have a link, I believe, within the Trailhead portal to Trailhead Live, where you can actually watch some of the on-demand videos. So it's a bit like the Salesforce Plus channel, but it's more kind of Trailhead, link from Trailhead, where you can watch some great on-demand videos. And like we mentioned before, you can do the trails by level. So if you've done your beginner and you're thinking, great, let's try intermediate or advanced, one thing I do recommend as well is go back to some of those trails, because sometimes with Trailhead, that Salesforce will update the content. There might be an extra badge that gets thrown into that trail, and you'll see when you do your progress, like once you've completed it, it'll tell you you've completed the trail and you've done 100%. But I remember doing my admin cert, and this was back in, I think, 2019 when I got my admin cert, and I just revisited the trail, and I was like, "You've only done 85%," and I was like, "Well, that's weird. I thought I did 100% of it." And I went back, and sure enough, Salesforce had added more modules, and I was like, "Fantastic." So that's one thing to keep an eye on. Also, the help sites that Salesforce have, use those as well, because if there is a bug in Trailhead, which can happen, no system's 100% perfect, you'll learn about any known issues within there. Utilize the community, like Asti said. There's a Trailblazer community, so utilize that as well if you get stuck. And there's nothing wrong with getting stuck. No one's going to judge you. It happens. I've got stuck. I've had to Google things and go back through the Trailhead. There's no judgment. It's fine. Other people, even if you think it's something silly, other people would have experienced it. There's no shame. There's no judgment. There's no deadline. If you want to set yourself a target, I recommend doing that as well. So, say for the exams, set yourself a target, and then that will motivate you to complete the sections or the trails you need to do. If you do an exam, you fail it, you get your feedback scores. Again, no shaming failing. I haven't passed the exams first time on every single cert I've got. No, I've even failed one of them like 3 or 4 times. Absolutely fine. It's all about your learning. You'll get feedback on the sections you did badly on, and you just go back and just improve and brush up and use the Trailhead units and modules and get more hands-on, just get more experience there. Not a problem at all. So basically, it's just the one thing I always kind of tell people is, and when you get in there and you look around, you might find certain things that other people haven't found as well. And it's all about sharing as well. And that's what people in the community do too. So yeah, it's all about just embracing it, keeping a positive mindset. If you hit a road bump, absolutely fine. You'll get over it. And once you get over that road bump, you'll be like, wow, I did it. I actually did some, wow, this works. It's brilliant. Or it's sinking in. You get that kind of good feeling, when you're achieving something. So just all I can say, my biggest tip is just to keep going. That everyone's different. There's people out there who can do like 10 sets in a year. Amazing people. There's people like me. I mean, I've been doing it for like 4 years. It's like, it just takes time. The one thing as well I will say is it's not a competition to get as many badges as you want. I am at 540. That's taken me 4 years. There's no, hey, I've got 500 badges and I did it in a week. There's, nothing like that. If somebody does that, that's great for them. If you take 10 years to do it, that's fine. Again, no judgment. And you also get the different ranking levels as well. So if you get 100 badges, you get called a Salesforce Ranger. 200 badges is a double Ranger. I think 25 is, I always forget the levels, I'm bad, Expeditioner. So it's just it's just a fun way of kind of keeping you motivated to use the platform. So just keep going, enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, that's fine. You've given it a go. But it's just there, it's free, it's available. As long as you've got an internet connection, be good to go.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody has a different way of learning things and grasping the concepts, and it completely depends on the individual's timeline as to where one wants to reach at. And that's the best thing. And I wasn't aware about this mobile app that you just mentioned. It's really helpful now when we think about it, that whenever we are traveling or whenever we are going anywhere, we just, if we don't want to open the laptop, we can just kind of use on our mobile phones, and it's so convenient at any time.
There you go.
Yes.
Sorry, it's blurred.
Yes. So I think that's wonderful, and people should make the best out of it. Um, so now let's get to the exciting part. We want to know about the deck that you're going to present. And so over to you.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm going to switch my headset on because I understand I can hear my garage door opening, which means my wife and son are coming back. So I don't want to get any background noise for you guys. That's the one thing about working remotely from home. You know, you have to change schedule. So I'm just going to put my headset on.
And hopefully you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. I've not used Google Live before, so let me just see if I can get this to work. And I've used Zoom and Google Meets and Teams, so hopefully this one goes just as smooth. So I can see on the screen here. There we go. So we can all see the screen. So Hasti did the introduction at the beginning of session here today. I actually do work for Salesforce. I'm a platform success guides. So we're basically setting up customers for success. There is my email and there is my Twitter handle. Another good tip as well, I do try and give people, if you like Twitter and tweets, I actually set up my own Twitter account and just essentially subscribe to or follow the people on Salesforce. So you kind of get that newsreel update on your Twitter account. So you can follow the admin channel, developer channel, follow some of the MVPs. It's a lazy way of doing it, but sometimes the laziest ways are the best ways. So it's just something I like to kind of to give to people as a quick tip. So I'm just going to talk to you about how you can actually become a trailblazer in the Salesforce ecosystem. But first of all, again, I just want to say thanks for being here and with Hasti for setting up this event and showing an interest in becoming a trailblazer. It has been undoubtedly difficult times in the last couple of years, but becoming a trailblazer will help show what resilience, inspiration, and innovation looks like. And Salesforce are trying to reimagine how we work, how we learn, and how we connect. And we're trying to do it all together. Nobody's left by themselves. You're always trusting Salesforce to lead us through change, and Salesforce are here to help set you up for success in the new digital first world. So first off, I want to have a question: is what is a trailblazer? And we define trailblazers. They're pioneers and change agents. They've adopted a lifelong learning philosophy to continuously update their skill sets. They have sought after capabilities, and they like to keep pace with innovation. And trailblazers are investing their own time in updating their skill sets to include the in-demand digital skills such as digitizing processes, learning, building chatbots, and so much more that need to help businesses through their digital transformations. We've got over 15 million global trailblazers, and they've built an incredible self-sustaining ecosystem and are paving the way for future trailblazers to succeed with Salesforce. And trailblazers are fueling the Salesforce economy. The rapid pace of digital transformation is fueling massive growth in cloud technology. And according to a recent IDC study, the Salesforce economy is set to create 9.3 million new jobs and more than 1.6 trillion in new business revenue by 2026. So that's a lot of jobs. That's a lot of growth expected. And you can see how by using Trailhead, this is going to help a lot of people get into the ecosystem and become trailblazers and learn more about technology, help make the world a better place. And it's powered by trailblazers like the lady on the slide here called Marquita. So she reinvented her career after working in the service industry for years. She decided to learn a whole new set of digital skills, and she quickly leveraged them to get a high paying job in technology, which has ultimately transformed her life. Uh, I went through my story about how I did a complete career change, and the first job I actually had when I came to America, I actually worked for a cable company. So I was climbing up the telephone poles and fixing wires and all that kind of stuff. And it's just amazing how it gives you the opportunity if you just dedicate your own time and invest in your own time to change careers and just get into the world of Salesforce and IT. It's never been more important to be a trailblazer right now. And I'm here to show you how anyone, and I mean anyone, can be a trailblazer in the Salesforce ecosystem, from admins to marketers to students to CEOs. I'm actually trying to encourage my brother to get into Salesforce as well. He's been in the insurance industry for 15 years. So he's like, I'm bored of my job. I want a career change. You know, you did Salesforce. What did you actually do? And I'm like I'm telling you guys today, hey, I just basically sat down and started using Trailhead. And, you know, again, you just put the time in and, you know, you can end up anywhere. It just depends what you want to put into it. So how can you become a trailblazer within the Salesforce economy? The ecosystem is an interconnected network of trailblazers who use Salesforce to build successful careers, communities, and companies around the world. But it's not only for creating new technology and career opportunities. We have to have pathways to succeed in the ecosystem. And what we do is we do that by letting people, anyone, to learn the way that they want to learn, whether that's with Trailhead, which is the free online learning platform tool that offers you all the different range of skills and certifications. We do have something that's recently launched called Salesforce Plus, which is a streaming service that features live and on-demand video content that you just get there with a few clicks. So that's another area you can utilize. One of the most unique parts of the Salesforce ecosystem, and we have mentioned this briefly before, is the Trailblazer community, which has an amazing network of over 15 million people right now who help each other on their journeys by learning and succeeding with Salesforce. So Salesforce provides Trailblazers access to the latest technology and an accessible platform so anyone can build groundbreaking apps, you can launch a business, and you can create opportunities for others. And we've made it our mission to empower trailblazers around the world with the tools they need to thrive in a digital-first world. And that's because we are in the midst of what we call a global reskilling revolution. So in fact, the demand for digital skills is expected to rise by more than 50% by 2025, meaning that the future of work will require an upskilling to gain new skills in your role or reskilling to learn new skills to take on different or entirely new roles. So I used to be in IT support, so I had some kind of background, kind of technology kind of skills, but I was able to utilize those, for example, just to kind of get a little bit of a leeway into Trailhead. And I can still use those skills right now. So it's not just Trailhead skills that you can use. Also think about some of the soft skills that you've kind of come across in your jobs or experiences that you've had throughout your career. It is estimated that 133 million new jobs will be created and 1 billion workers will need to be reskilled globally in the next 8 years as digital transformation is rapidly affecting the skills needed for the jobs of the future. And preparing for the new world of work is one of the defining business problems of our time. As jobs evolve, so will the skills needed to perform them. And while the Salesforce ecosystem is full of opportunities to learn, earn, and connect, workers are saying they still need less, they still feel, I would say, a lot of people still feel that they're less equipped than ever to learn new digital skills. It can be quite scary when you first come across all this digitalization, if that's the correct word there. So moving on, how would you think about setting yourself up for success within the Salesforce ecosystem? And today, what we're going to dive into within the Salesforce ecosystem is how to use Trailhead and the Trailblazer community to supercharge your journey. First off, we are going to go into Trailhead and just cover that angle. So as we mentioned before at the beginning of today's webinar, we're no longer stuck. We're going through expensive in-person courses or spending hours upon hours in a silo working on a rigid curriculum. Today, people want learning to be online and personalized to their needs. They expect it to be fun and engaging, and of course, they want it to be community driven with a peer support network built in. And now we make it easier than ever for anyone, regardless of background or social economic status, to skill up and connect from anywhere. And that is where we enter the world of Trailhead. So Trailhead is our free online learning platform and the front door to the Salesforce ecosystem. It empowers anyone to skill up for the future. And with Trailhead, anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn in-demand skills, including tech, business, Salesforce, and important soft skills. And there are many ways to learn. You can either do it on demand, which you mentioned before. You can do it from your laptop, and you can do it from your phone with Trailhead Go, which I did a poor job of showing you. Or you can do it directly from experts in virtual classrooms with an area called the Trailhead Academy. And as Trailblazers are learning, you're also earning resume-worthy credentials, certifying that you have the knowledge and skills that companies need today. This ability, again, to learn, earn, and connect from anywhere in the world empowers Trailblazers to reach new heights. And again, don't forget, you can also learn from your cell phone by using that Trailhead Go mobile app, and that is available on both iOS and Android. And people are growing their careers with Trailhead. So in a recent study, 50% of learners earned a promotion or a raise because of the skills they're learning on Trailhead. A third found a new job or made a career change, and 2/3 of Trailblazers reported that they are more productive as a result of their Trailhead learning. So Trailhead has content that spans the whole of the Salesforce ecosystem. There's over 1,000 badges, and I believe there's actually a couple of people who've got, and I don't know the exact number of badges here, so I don't quote me on this. I think there's a couple of people who've got 1,300 Trailblazer badges. Now, I thought I had a lot with just over 500, and I think once you hit 600, you get to like super duper ranger status. There's something called like an all-star ranger, but there's people out there with 1,300 of them. Absolutely amazing. And that number continues to grow each and every year. And the badges range from soft skills, and they also cover the Salesforce credentials as well. So you can basically learn Trailhead from anywhere and cover those different skills that you need. The platform is more kind of gamified with bite-sized and conversational modules, which makes it easy and fun to learn these new skills and complex topics. And you can create a well-balanced resume with skills that span the Salesforce ecosystem and beyond. And Trailhead is personalized for roles and levels. So whatever level or stage of your career journey you're in, you can personalize or your route to learning within Trailhead. The hardest choice that a lot of people have initially is what career path do you want to decide to do within the Salesforce ecosystem? So we do have the guided career paths on Trailhead, and anyone can find an entry point into these within the Salesforce ecosystem. I chose the Salesforce administrator. As I said before, there's one for a developer if that way inclined. There's also analysts. There's also sales and service. There's marketing as well. So whichever one you're interested in, feel free to start and go down that learning path right there. And Trailhead has the resources and the community support to help you when you decide which journey path you're going to go down. We're continuing to expand entry points and opportunities to join the ecosystem by introducing new career paths. So anyone can succeed with Salesforce. I know Salesforce recently are launching, I haven't got a time or an ETA yet, an actual business analyst certification. So you can see here that that's also a career path that you can go down if you wish to choose to do so. We're going to go on to the Trailhead Playgrounds, which you mentioned before. So these are a free Salesforce developer environments, and they are what we call the secret sauce of Trailhead. And they are used for you to practice the knowledge and skills and to test yourself with the hands-on challenges. By providing the Trailhead Playgrounds, we give anyone the ability to get hands-on with this technology And again, there's no extra cost for this. This is absolutely free. Can't do it on the cell phone yet, but maybe in the future, maybe Salesforce will find a way of doing that. So you can create a playground and you launch them within some of the Trailhead badges. And then once you verify the steps within a badge, you can pass whatever badge it is. So they're there solely for hands-on. You can't break anything. It's not real world. You're not going to destroy your business or anything like that. They're just a free environment for you to just use again and again to basically practice your skills. And once you've mastered the skills, you can maybe think about, if you wish to do so, getting a Salesforce credential. We also have what we call super badges as well. So you can get a competitive edge that leads to new opportunities within your role. We've got over 50 resume-worthy credentials to choose from. You can gain global recognition as a Salesforce expert with these, become a key player in your organization's success. You can also accelerate your path to advancement and stand out to employers by showcasing your experience on what we call your Trailhead Me, sorry, your Trailblazer, my mistake, Trailblazer Me.me profile, which I'll cover in a second. So super badges are great. And then the next step would be a certification. You can do certifications without doing a super badge. Again, entirely your choice. It's not a right or wrong answer. These just super badges just help you, again, get more hands-on, kind of like real-world business experience there. According to another recent IDC study, certified employees are often given more responsibilities than their uncertified peers, making them 5.5 times more influential in their role and 90% more productive. And the skills and knowledge they have from being certified make them 35% more impactful in their role, leading them to better identify and develop innovative solutions for their organization. This is why we're here again today, to show you how to build those skills and knowledge and those capabilities to be more efficient and productive to keep up with the pace of innovation. Once you do learn those on-demand skills, you can show them off on the Trailblazer.me profile. And essentially what the Trailblazer.me profile is, think of it as a digital resume which showcases all your professional achievements and the skills you've gained and any certifications within Salesforce. So you'd have your own customizable profile URL. Anyone can easily share this URL to share that resume and use it as you apply for jobs across the Salesforce ecosystem. So everyone will have this. So let's have a look now and talk a bit more about the Trailblazer community. So we're going to talk about the community. And the community is your kind of like your one-stop kind of shop on the platform to learn, earn, and again, connect from anywhere. Employees, learners, and trailblazers need more than just skills today to succeed. They need communities of peers, and it's never been more important to connect with other trailblazers, to learn new skills, to reskill, and continue your learning journeys. That's why Salesforce have brought together the #1 learning platform, Trailhead, and the #1 community platform together for one modern unified platform to learn and connect from anywhere. You can learn relevant skills and expand your skill set by learning from fellow Trailblazers or from integrated Trailhead modules. You can connect with Trailblazers by joining groups to meet and collaborate with each other based on your location, role, or interests. During COVID, I decided to join near enough every single Salesforce community group in the UK. A lot of the meetings are virtual. This was before I joined Salesforce, so they get some fantastic speakers on there. There are people who do showcase products too that you can use within Salesforce, but it's just a great way to connect, network, and also to give back. So that's something that we like to do in the community as well, because somebody will help you, and then as you grow your skills and knowledge, you can help somebody else. So you can also give back as well, and it's just great to network and kind of build up your presence within the ecosystem. It does continue to grow. and it is a vital tool if you want to succeed in the ecosystem. If you don't know something or you get stuck, there's somebody out there who's encountered the same situation. So great resource to use to share your knowledge, ask any questions, and answer any questions, and get guidance on any other key topics that you're interested in. So I'm going to take a little bit more of a deeper dive into the online Trailblazer community. There are, at any given month, over 4,000 questions that are answered on the Trailblazer community. Sometimes employees from Salesforce answer these questions as well. It's not just other Trailblazers. We do have channels as well that the Salesforce employees will actually answer any requests as well. Big one recently was MFA. That was a big thing in the world of Salesforce, and a lot of the product managers sometime actually posted on there as well, which was absolutely fantastic. There's also thousands of collaboration groups about a full range, a ton of different topics. And the collaboration, like we said, is amazing. So there are some awesome resources for getting started, release readiness, more on core products, and it's a great place to engage directly with the customer success team, product managers, like we've said, and of course your fellow peers. The gentleman on this chap is Carlos Umana, and he's a Salesforce admin in Houston. He was very passionate about contributing to conversations in Spanish-speaking groups. So that's something else to think about as well. Global company across the world, different languages, Spanish, Japanese. I actually speak Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic. I don't think there's a group for that yet, but maybe I can make one. Different languages. So that is another area as well. And thanks to people like Carlos and helping people speaking Spanish engage, he's really helping out in the Trailblazer community. We also have other people called Salesforce MVPs who also really help in the community. They are nominated by the community for their above and beyond contributions. So everyone should follow and connect with these people. They are absolutely fantastic. They'll help you learn so much, and they make amazing contributions. And it's also great to actually have these people, these resources as a connection. I follow several of them. Some of them have blogs as well, fantastic to follow, and they're responsive as well. I just got my sharing and visibility cert. One of the MVPs, I think he was an MVP, he ran a course on Udemy, fantastic. So I reached back out to him on LinkedIn, and he was like, thanks for mentioning my name. It's just all about kind of giving, and then just recognizing that this person actually helped me. So I'm going to give you a shout out because you can help other people too. And Salesforce really invests in helping these MVPs be great for Salesforce's sake. And they're also the voice of the community to executives and also our product leaders. And you might actually, now that we're kind of opening up a little bit more after, well, COVID's still going, you might actually meet one of these MVPs at a community group meeting if you're lucky enough to do so. We do have over 1,300 community groups around the world, and these help Trailblazers meet peers, learn together, and build amazing networks. There are many amazing stories of people's lives changing around the world. One example we have got for this presentation is a gentleman called Zach Otero. He was working in a rapidly declining manufacturing job, and all he did was Google tech jobs, and then he thought, oh, I'm going to learn Salesforce. So he spent months and months and months learning on his own. But when he went to his first community group meeting, that's when everything clicked for him and started to change. So he was one of the first people to say that hearing other people's best practice and advice and ideas is what made everything kind of come together for him. He also met his mentor there as well. And then she actually became his boss in his first admin role a few months later. So that's quite a unique story. That beats the story I had of working in an office with my mum. So that's a really good story there. Great for him. And that's just an example of what can happen. They may not be your boss, but you may end up working with somebody you met in a community group. They actually might be able to help find you a role. So again, networking is key, a really good part of the ecosystem. Another great place as well to kind of be inspired is from Salesforce Plus, which we mentioned before. And it has content that will motivate you, inspire you, and it's for every role industry or line of business, and it helps you to succeed in the digital first work anywhere world. So it brings together the magic of Dreamforce, which is the biggest global event that Salesforce hosts, and all the other global events to viewers around the world with fantastic speakers. They also showcase Trailblazer success stories and also any other groundbreaking innovations that are happening within Salesforce. So another fantastic resource. So there's many ways you can set yourself up for success in the Salesforce ecosystem. Whether you want to start a career in tech, or you want to re-enter the workforce, or like myself, just change career path, you can just basically level up your career. And Salesforce tries to help you by giving you the tools to succeed. So as the ecosystem does grow, so do the endless opportunities within it. And no business, again, as well, from my experience, is the same. So each business out there has different use cases, and using your skills to help assist them is really a great way of kind of, number one, getting a role, and then showcasing your expertise. And we can't wait to see what you actually do on your Salesforce journey. You can, like I said, become fantastic in the community, get that dream role you're after, or just work towards the role, build up the skills and experience, and work towards that dream role. So for more information on kind of everything we've talked about today, and there's the link at the bottom here. If you don't have an account, you can go down to this link, trailblazers.salesforce.com, sign up for the free account, and you can go there and then just explore the system, the different learning paths, as we've mentioned, the community. It's all there. The different modules, those ones we touched on at the beginning, the Trailhead basics, the playground management. It's all there for you. The biggest thing that you kind of just have to do, from like my own personal experiences, just put in the time. There's no time frame for you to actually get things done. It's free. If you experience a road bump, there's the resources there. You've got the community. It's just well, from my personal experience, I'm going to say it's fantastic, because I ended up working for Salesforce, of course, but I've tried to get so many people on a personal level into it, friends, like I mentioned, my brother. I even said to my mother to try it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm 65," and I'm like, "It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Age is no limit." And she's like, "But I know nothing about computers," and I went, "Again, that doesn't matter. You're not putting a computer together. You're not physically putting anything together. It's all kind of online. You learn everything through the badges. You go through the steps, and if you get stuck, and I get stuck. I get stuck every single day. There's resources out there, and if you know how to use Google, that's another plus. Google search. I'll admit it. I use it. You can't remember everything, and Salesforce is constantly changing. If somebody says that they know everything about Salesforce, I tend not to believe them, because it's just so much out there. There's 3 releases a year. It's just impossible. You have to have a supercomputer brain to remember everything. So you'll come across road bumps, but it's a fantastic ecosystem to be a part of. And I've seen so many people grow within the ecosystem. And before I went to Salesforce, I mentored somebody who became an admin, actually, just helping them out. They didn't know, I think they failed the exam a couple of times. It's just a case of, what are you stuck on? What areas are you stuck on? And you just talk, and always be open to talking to other people. I was often, when I was younger, embarrassed about asking questions. Like, does it sound silly? Again, it doesn't matter. It may sound silly, but other people would have experienced it. So, I wish you all well. I hope you've found this useful. Thanks for joining us here today. I'll help answer any questions.
Well, first of all, thank you for this amazing presentation, Daniel. It was like a complete Bible, I would say, for anybody who wants to get started for Trailhead, and who wants to kind of wet their feet in the world of Salesforce. Um, and it was such an amazing and extensive um, explanation and presentation that I'm sure everybody must have enjoyed it. So thank you for that presentation, and it was insightful and engaging with so many personal examples, and we really enjoyed. Um,
Oh, thank you.
so
I do
I
see.
just
I do see one comment from believe it's Anna, just saying that sales are mostly commission focused. How do you deal with the constant pressure for daily achievements? So Salesforce, within Salesforce, in the system, you can set up different alerts, different viewpoints. So you can and notifications too, and automation. I've never really touched on automation. All of those capabilities are within Salesforce to kind of help you, remind you what's going on. There's automations where, say, for example, you change the field value, then what it might do. This is just an example. It might kick off escalating something that needs to be approved by a manager. So there's a whole different slew of options in there. Sales Cloud, I'll admit, it's my weaker cloud out of the big two. I prefer Service Cloud, but Sales Cloud has got lots of different things within there. There's also tasks you can set up. There's loads of great things. And again, if you're trying to do something in a particular scenario for your business, so just reach out to the community. Maybe somebody else has come across this or gives you an idea of the path to take or the workaround or a solution. So yeah, it's lots of things available within the platform to assist.
yeah. So I hope that answers your question, Anna. Um, well, Daniel, thank you for this information, for the presentation, and I'm sure our audiences will take a lot of important information home today and implement them in their career moving forward. I would just like to tell a little bit about FENs. We are a Salesforce registered partner, and we work with some really noteworthy clients and organizations globally. Also, we are hiring for multiple roles. So, if you want to work with us, please send in your application through our website portal, or you can drop us an email at careers@fens.com. So, I think we have taken a question from audience, and it's time we take one more question. Uh, okay, so Nick James is asking, can one clear the certification exam only by preparing from the trailhead?
That is a great question. So, on my personal experience, I'm a different learner. If I read things, I kind of forget stuff. So you can, but what Trailhead does is it goes into the resources as well. So you'll finish a badge and then it'll have the links to the resources as well. So you can, but you have to be kind of what I found just from my personal experience is like you have to be on the ball, taking notes, all that kind of stuff, saving all the bookmarks. So you can do it by just using Trailhead. I'm just a terrible learner by just reading documents all the time. So I know I shouldn't plug other things, but there's a couple of things I've used like Udemy. They do some great video courses for different certs. Focus on Force is another big one that maybe people have heard of. They have sections on different certs where you get a study guide, which is visual, and then you'll get practice exams as well. It's all kind of down to the style of learner that you are. So you can clear the certification exams by using. I mean, everything will be there within the resources. So you can. It's just really good note taking, and some of the guides could be like a couple of hundred pages. Like for the sharing of visibility cert I just did, there's a guide that's like 200 pages long. It's like I'm not going to be able to read that and remember that. And what I would also say in conjunction with using Trailhead is getting that hands-on experience as well. You can read something, but it's also great to do something as well. And you get that opportunity with Trailhead. So you can, if you're somebody who just wants to read all the documentation, you can do that. Depends on your style of learning. But by using Trailhead, you can use the reading aspect, which you get in like kind of manuals that you get anyway or books. But with that kind of, the playgrounds, the hands-on, You'll get questions for different parts of the system. Can you do this? Can you do that? The more you use it, the more you're going to remember it. It's going to stick in there. So with Trailhead, you can, but my biggest tip from there would be to use the resources and the links, but also do the hands-on a lot as well.
Okay. So using the resources along with being like really hands-on, that is the key tip that you're giving. And I think that also makes sense because, like you said, the more you practice it, the more it is going to register in your brain, and the more efficiently you will be able to perform in the exam, as well as you're dealing with real life situations. So yes, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and the admin exam, it has changed a lot from when I did it back in 2019, and a lot of people, they'll take it, and a lot of people sometimes might fail it the first time. Again, that's absolutely fine. You're coming onto a new platform, and what the admin exam does is it doesn't just cover Service Cloud or Sales Cloud. It goes over like the whole it's like what I would call a generalized certification. So if you do fail it, biggest tip is, just look at the areas that you're weak in. Again, hands-on, maybe a bit more reading, coming up with different scenarios. I mean, in your Trailhead playground, you don't just have to do what's in the Trailhead module. You can actually think of your own scenarios like, oh, I want to set up, and I'm just going to do the example here. I just want to set up a report and dashboard, for such and such. And you can do it. That Trailhead playground is yours. You can do whatever you want to it. It's just, again, just practice makes perfect. Kind of get that muscle memory. And it doesn't matter how many times you take an exam. For example, I'm not a developer. I'll admit here, the whole LinkedIn world. I failed my platform developer 1 4 times, and I failed it twice by 1 mark, and it was like frustrating. But I was just determined to nail it, and I got it in the end. It took me a year to do it. And I put in that time and effort. And when I finally passed it, it was like, yes, I was so happy. I mean, it did take a lot of study, a lot of time to get it, but if you're determined to get something and you have that positivity and that mentality and that attitude to succeed, you will get there. And I also reached out to other people on the community. An old colleague that I changed jobs, he'd recently passed his platform developer 1. I was like, I'm weak in this area, and it was like, helping me out. So, you will get there. Don't be disheartened. There's people out there who can pass every exam first time. Fantastic. That is great. But every person is different. Every learning style is different. And for me, if you have failed an exam and you do it again, I actually think you learn more personally. I learn more from my mistakes anyway as a learner. So, I think, like from my own personal viewpoint, I think it kind of makes you better equipped as well. So just all I can say is keep going, keep having that positive mentality and just that will to succeed, and you'll get there, and hopefully enjoy it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So just practicing as much as you can, and even if you fail, like you said, it's okay.
Yeah.
So that's it for today, Daniel. Thank you so much for taking time out on a Friday and talking to us. We are very grateful to have you today, and it was an amazing, amazing experience. Thank you so much. Um, we have exciting sessions planned for the upcoming months. To know more about them, please follow us on all our social media platforms, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow Daniel on his LinkedIn and Twitter to know more about all the interesting information that he puts out. Till then, stay tuned and have a relaxing weekend.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.